Hey everyone, it's Dinah, and we are back with more of Buffy the Vampire Slayer this week. So, yeah, this time on to episode number 9. Last time we had 8, and we had a further insight into Giles's past. His past with his old London friends, one of whom is still alive, not for lack of... Well, I think one of whom is still alive because he tried very hard to be. Let me put it that way. Yeah, one of them, who is Ethan Rain, who we've come to be very familiar with, in his kind of sneaky and sadistic and cunning ways of escapism and trading, others' lives for his own and everything. So yeah, but we had an insight into Giles's life when he was somewhat of a youth. Giles wouldn't be a millennial. Would Giles be a millennial? I don't know. Maybe? No, I don't know. I think at least now, in the late 90s, he seems like he's at least in his 30s or 40s. I don't know. I think he probably wouldn't be a millennial. No. He was in a band with his friends, but then they practiced occult magic and stuff by night, and in doing so they summoned the demon Igon, and one by one they kind of lulled themselves into possession by him because it gave them a high and everything, but then it spun out of control and they had to kill one of their friends and everything. So looking at the cost that secret keeping kind of had on the rest of the group, or the rest of the group kind of being completely unaware of exactly how dark and dangerous Giles's kind of past was, and exactly what he got up to, and how to face off against this kind of an evil as well, their first not their first time, but then an additional kind of round of fighting with another demon that is arguably more dangerous than one they faced before. And of course Jenny is all coming under such heavy fire, even her being possessed by Igon using her body to do things, and her just kind of having to come to terms with that, and her and Giles potentially taking a break because of that too. So it took a heavy toll on pretty much most of the team, so it's going to be interesting to see exactly where we go from here. But yeah, I think it was an interesting look at Giles, and seeing that nowadays he's seen as the kind of know-it-all, and he's the watcher, and he kind of stays in the library most times, and he's the guy, he's the guidance that Buffy requires, and he's the guy who's up to date on all the lore and stuff. But then he's just as capable of actually having a darkness in him, and especially when Ethan got involved, he turned rageful and vengeful, and he actually fought so hard to actually kind of keep the others out of it and to keep them safe and everything. He fought so hard to keep the others out of it in the name of safety, but then he realized that this new team of his is gonna interact, and they're gonna intervene and interfere because they care, but then also because they're a team now, and this is how they do things and everything. So he learned that kind of the hard way and everything, and I think he's kind of borderline kind of losing Jenny, or at least him and Jenny potentially need to take a break and everything. So an interesting kind of character study on Giles, and how he's a lot more than what we have come to know, and he's a lot more than we think he is. So, but yeah, I think it felt somewhat self-contained to the whole Mark of Igon stuff. Nothing else too shady was going on besides from vampires kind of stealing blood from blood delivery for the hospitals and everything, and then Angel joined Buffy in stopping that and everything. So little kind of a cool way of actually interacting Angel in at that point. And then later on in the episode when Willow kind of called him in to help the team fight Igon and everything, so he took Igon in, and then his inner demon fought Igon, and that was the way to actually vanquish Igon. Yeah, some cool inclusion of Angel too. But yeah, I think for the most part that is pretty much all that happened, at least all I can remember from the last episode. So on to episode number 9 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So yeah, let's go.
No, it's just these people can't tell from one multiple choice test what we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. It's ridiculous.
I'm kind of curious to find out what sort of career I could have.
What, and suck all the spontaneity out of being young and stupid? I'd rather live in the dark.
I'm not going to be young forever.
Yes, but I'll always be stupid.
That's an extreme confidence and self-awareness.
I aspire to help my fellow man. Check.
Oh, Cordelia.
As long as he's not smelly, dirty, or something gross.
So they have to decide careers, or just look at career choices and stuff? Do they have a careers advisor? Would that be a thing?
Unless hell freezes over and every vamp in Sunnydale puts in for early retirement, I'd say my future is pretty much a non-issue.
I feel like Slayers should get paid. In Supernatural, Sam and Dean lived off of credit card fraud until they found the bunker. Angel? Those look like very fancy shoes. I'm guessing Angel? No, it's Buffy. Okay. They look like men's shoes for a second. Not saying she can't wear men's shoes, but... Oh, is that Dalton? That's Dalton. Oh, so I think this was the place in that little picture. Don't know what the thing was. Was it like a tarot card or like a card of some kind? Angel clutching the teddy bear. That is quite the sight.
Just dropping by for some quality time with Mr. Gordo?
Mr. Gordo, yeah.
Excuse me?
The pig.
The stuffed pig. Lucky Mr. Gordo.
You're the one freaky thing in my freaky world that still makes sense to me.
Oh, such a romantic line.
Just get messed sometimes.
Never be a kid.
No.
Okay, then, a regular kid and her cradle-robbing creature of the night boyfriend.
I mean, you're a vampire. You'll always have a youth to you.
My room in LA was pretty much a shrine. Dorothy dolls, Dorothy posters. I even got the Dorothy haircut. Thereby securing a place for myself in the Geek Hall of Fame.
You wanted to be like her.
I wanted to be here.
Closed on Tuesdays.
Tomorrow's Tuesday.
I know.
What a convenience. Turns out there's some advantages to having a supernatural love interest in your life.
What about you? You're...
What?
Oh, what did that get?
What? When you look at me, do you think prison guard?
You got a prison guard?
Crossing guard, maybe, but prison guard?
Laugh now, Missy. They assigned you to the booth for law enforcement professionals.
As in police?
Hey,
As in
Buffy?
polyester, donuts, and brutality.
So she'd be a cop?
Indexing the Watcher Diaries covering the last couple of centuries.
The Watcher Diaries. Be a nice parallel to the Vampire Diaries.
Our only concern is to discover what was stolen from that mausoleum last night.
The crucifix? I think he was hammering something. Did he make it?
I need to bring in the big guns. I'll take care of her once and for
The
all.
big guns.
The Order of Taraka.
Order of Taraka. Bounty hunters? A tiger? Oh, so are these tarot cards then? Or are these like tarot cards? Like, I think the first one had like the mausoleum on it, or at least like the doors in the mausoleum. Now these are like signifying like animals and shit.
Principal Snyder, great career fair, sir. Really. In fact, I'm so inspired by your leadership, I'm thinking principal school. I want to walk in your shoes.
Now there's another person who doesn't laugh.
For what it's worth.
It's worth nothing, Harris. Whatever comes out of your mouth is a meaningless waste of breath. An airborne toxic event.
Well, I'm glad you
Jesus.
feel comfortable enough to be so honest with me. And I can only hope that one day I'm in a position to be that honest with you.
Come with us, please.
Oh, who's this?
Excuse me?
Let's walk.
No, they look way too sus. They look like government agents or some shit. They look like the same people who took away that girl in one of the previous episodes. I can't remember what her name was. Marcy? Marsha?
Try the canapé. It's excellent.
The canapé.
You've been selected to meet with Mr. McCarthy, head recruiter for the world's leading software concern.
Ah. I was gonna guess she might do well in like computer science or something, because she is like a computer whiz.
We've been tracking you for some time.
Is that a good
I would
That's
think so. We're extremely selective.
concerning.
In fact, only one other Sunnydale student met our criteria.
Oz! Oh, snap!
Canapé.
Ah. Okay, so this is how they actually finally properly cross paths.
What you have is more than a gig. It's a sacred duty.
A great power which befalls great responsibility.
Giles, it's one thing to be a watcher and a librarian. They go together, like chicken and another chicken, or two chickens or something. You know what I'm saying.
Chicken and chips!
Well, now there's a thought. Have you ever considered law enforcement?
Oh, she could be a detective, I guess. That wouldn't be half bad, would it? She wouldn't have to be like an actual police officer. She could be, I mean, but then you have to work your way up. You can't just be a detective right off the bat, can you? Detective Summers. Tell me that doesn't have a good ring to it. Yeah. She could investigate mysterious killings. Perfect cover.
You remember the book that was stolen from the library by a vampire a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
It was written by Dulac.
Ah.
First the book was taken from the library, and now the vampires have stolen something from Dulac's tomb.
Was that the crucifix? Whoa. These the bounty hunters? Dang. Oh, yeah, they look like bound. That's, yeah. I mean, that's only one, right? Or Are they doing it one at a time? I think there are 3 of them, right? I think that there were 3 cards that Drusilla was looking at.
Yes, hello. I'm Norman Pfister with Blush Beautiful Skincare. I'm not selling anything, so I'm not asking you to buy, just to accept a few free samples.
Free?
Absolutely.
Okay, that scream came in louder than I thought it would. I figured like a scream or like a thud or something would come up. Is one of them in the cargo hold of a plane? So there are 3. There's the guy that came on the bus, and ooh, I spotted heels. Oh, hello. Okay. Damn. Okay. I know her. I've seen her in other places before. Yeah. Okay. Excited to see them.
This article describes an invention of his, which he calls the Dulac Cross.
Yeah, the cross.
So why go to all the trouble of inventing something and then giving it a weak name like that? I mean, I'd have gone with the Cross-O-Matic or the Amazing Mr. Cross.
And that's why you're not in charge of naming things, Xander.
Dulac destroyed every cross, except the one buried with him.
Why destroy your own work?
Perhaps he feared what might happen if it fell into the wrong hands.
So was he a good guy then? Bad guys don't usually fear that kind of power.
You go for snacks.
She should go. You know, gather.
Oh yeah, Willow knows, yeah,
Right.
the truth.
There may be fierce battles ahead.
Okay.
But ho-hos are a vital part of my cognitive process.
Well then get your damn ho-hos, Xander. Yeah, training with Angel out on the skating rink. You know, what could be better training? Ah, look at her, so graceful. Is Angel gonna skate? I would love to see him skate. Oof. Where is Angel? Wait, where is? Was he not meant to take her here? Where is Angel? Oh, there he is. Ah, right on time. Oh, jeez, oof. Busman packs quite a punch, even against Angel. Oh, oh! Did she cut his throat with the blade of the skate? He is gone. So that leaves Plain Girl and the salesman. I mean, the busted went out quite easy. I mean, he packed a few good punches against Angel, but then yeah, he still didn't put up that much of a fight.
Don't be a baby. I'm not gonna hurt you.
It's not that.
What?
You shouldn't have to touch me when I'm like this.
When you're a vampire? Is it easy to kiss with vampire teeth just bulging out of your jaw? Oh, Plain Girl is here. So what can she do? I think one of them was a tiger. I think that they had different animals, I think. Like, one of them had an eye. The bus dude had an eye.
Society of Deadly Assassins dating back to King Solomon.
And didn't they beat the Elks this year in the Sunnydale Adult Bowling League Championships?
Their credo is to sow discord and kill the unwary.
Bowling is a vicious game.
That's enough, Xander. Sorry.
Yeah, no one is in the mood for comedy in this episode.
Unlike vampires, they have no earthly desires, but to collect their bounty.
It's just business, but
They find a target and
yeah, they stop at nothing
they eliminate
to get paid. Yeah.
Kill as many of them as you like, it won't make any difference.
There's only 3 of them though, right? Or is there more? You've already killed one of them. The maggots coming from him?
You
From
won't
his
know who they
shoes?
are until they strike.
Oh. So he regenerates his own limbs? A cop. Oh jeez, the most sinister combing of hair I've ever seen. Oh, Oz.
God, I'm sorry.
He's a tense person.
You have no idea. Oh god, wandering the streets alone at night when the order of Taraka is hunting you, not the best idea. Doesn't that salesman dude live next door too? Like, I think, wasn't it Buffy's like house he lives across from or something? Is she even safe at home? Especially if the salesman dude is actually watching her as well. Yeah, I don't know if she's safe at home. It's a good thing Joyce isn't at home either, you know.
Perhaps my words of caution were a little too alarming.
Yeah, you made her
You think?
paranoid.
It's good that she took you seriously, Giles.
I mean, when you actually manage to put the fear of God into a Slayer, I don't know if that's actually the best sign. Like, you want to give a Slayer strength and courage, not make them afraid for their own lives.
Angel?
Is he not home? Could he be out hunting the rest of the Taraka? But then the plain girl saw Buffy with Angel, so then would she know to find out where he lives? Could she already be here? This is where he sleeps. It's a comfy looking bed.
He and that freaky chick of his are...
Oh. 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 Okay. She's got some good kicks, okay? Yeah. Busboy had some good punches, but she's got some spins and kicks and oh, she is getting him good. Ah. Oh. Damn. God damn. I know her from somewhere. I'm still trying to picture it.
I'm afraid you are not in a position to threaten.
When I get out of here, I'll do more than threaten.
Then I suggest you move quickly.
Oh, the sun.
Stun exposure. The sun will be coming in a few hours.
Oh, she's good. She is good. So she's not a Slayer, but she is strong enough to fight a vampire. Even the other guy, like I don't think any of them are they're not vampires, but they're still powerful enough to face one.
I don't know. Get Cordelia to drive you.
Good luck with that. Ah, sleepy Willow.
Don't warn the tadpoles.
Oh.
Giles, what are you doing here?
It's the library.
Oh. Hi.
Don't warn the tadpoles.
Are they in danger?
I believe the purpose is to restore a weak and sick vampire back to full health.
Drusilla.
A vampire like Drusilla?
The missing bloody link, it was.
Right in front of us. The whole time.
The key? What's the key? What was that? An angel? Angel! Assuming that was an angel, maybe it's Angel, yeah. No, is that him? That's him!
I'm Norman Pfister with Blush Beautiful Skincare and Cosmetics. I was wondering if I might interest you in some free samples?
Free?
No, Cordelia! Is she gonna scream? Okay, not nearly. I mean, the other one, he needed the house to watch the house, so maybe not nearly as quick with this one. Oh gosh. It's already morning, Angel. Like, can you really not just, like, break through that door? Like, can you not break blocks as a vampire? Ay. Oh, she's here. And she was patient enough to wait for Buffy to wake up.
Don't make me do the chick fight thing.
Chick fight.
You know.
Cat fight, oh god. Yeah, she is good. Don't know who she is, but she is good. She knows her shit. Oh. I was curious how a showdown between her and Buffy would go.
Who are you?
Who am I? You attacked me. Who the hell are you?
I'm Kendra, the vampire slayer.
Vampire? She's a slayer? Wait, what? Kendra the vampire slayer? Literally earlier in this episode they enforced there can only be one unless she dies, and now all of a sudden two are coexisting at the same timeline? What? How? Yeah, I mean, needless to say, I don't know how that works, and needless to also say, I assume safely it will only be explained in the next part. I think the fact that it said to be continued, I think I do get the feeling that this is actually like a two-parter, like a quarter of the way through this season. So I feel like they all had to be supernatural in some way. Like obviously the salesman dude, he killed the lady in that house, and then I think like maggots from him perhaps were actually consuming a body. But then I think he was missing an arm. So I don't know what happened to that arm, like if he lost the arm trying to kill her, or if he used the arm to kill her and then he lost it, but then like a trail of maggots leading from her body to his kind of shoe and everything, then did regenerate his arm and stuff. So I don't know if he was actually feeding off of her flesh to regenerate his own, or what's happening there. Especially the busboy was able to actually put up a good fight against Angel too. He was delivering just as good as he got, and Angel was actually surprised. So I think it's actually kind of interesting to see the team actually dealing with vampires for so long, that they actually do get kind of surprised and flabbergasted and stuff when they come up against creatures that are not vampiric but are also of equal or greater strength and stuff. So it's seeing Angel actually getting kind of knocked on his feet by Kendra and the busboy, kind of actually him finally meeting his match kind of physically and stuff. I mean with Kendra, she's a vampire slayer, so it kind of makes sense. But then he never knew that. So like even us as the audience actually just kind of seeing them being somewhat like somehow and somewhat supernatural, able to actually handle Angel and stuff. I'm curious what the actual bus guy was. He was missing an eye, but then don't know if he just had strength, or if he lost the battle with Buffy when she gave him a nice quick clean kind of slice from her ice skating boots and everything. With the bus guy, we didn't see what his abilities were besides from being able to match a vampire physically. So clearly he had strength, or I mean he seemed pretty buff anyway. Like he didn't seem skinny or lanky. Like he seemed like he actually had like some actual body strength to him. So clearly he could have just matched that. So then that brings up the question, like could a bodybuilder go up against Angel? Like if a bodybuilder went up against him, like would they last as long, or would he still just toss them aside? So I don't know. But then Kendra the Vampire Slayer. So Kendra, I like that name, Kendra. So yeah, and she's so pretty. She's so damn pretty. I'm so sure I've seen her somewhere, like in one or two places at least. I'm not like I'm trying so hard to actually like remember. Like I think she has one of those faces that's just kind of like popped up in other places. So yeah, I don't know. Like someone on the CW maybe. I think maybe the CW, or is she in the Vampire Diaries? I've been watching that recently, yeah. I think I did contemplate reacting to it. I'm like a quarter of the way through season 2, and I put it on hold because I was like, okay, this is actually getting good now. I got to a point where I was like, okay, this is actually good, and I feel happy watching this. So I'm kind of contemplating reacting into it now. So I think I got to like season 2, episode 7, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to put this on hold because I don't know if I actually want to react to this or what. But I'm pretty sure she played Emily Bennett back in the day from 1863 or 4, something like back when Catherine Pierce was on. I'm pretty sure she was Emily Bennett, yeah, Bonnie's ancestor. So that's why wait, let me actually check that. Let me actually look that up. Let me make sure I've got the face right. Yeah, that's Emily Bennett. Yeah, wow. So she went from being a vampire slayer to being a witch. Okay, so she went from that's a cool parallel. Okay, Emily Bennett. She's Emily Bennett. I knew that face was just so fresh in my mind. Yeah. Okay, wow, okay, that's cool. But yeah, so Kendra, don't know the actress's name though. I'm not aware of the actress's name. But yeah, I think even like from where I'm at in the Vampire Diaries, we haven't seen much of her as Emily Bennett, other than in like ghost form and everything. So even if she was brought back to life, Buffy did die. But I mean, I guess I'm kind of curious as to how Buffy actually did die too. I mean, not to say that people haven't had near-death experiences or haven't actually died but then been brought back, because then I think you can be clinically dead, but then there can be enough left in you to still somehow be brought back. I mean, don't know how likely that is in real life compared to TV, because in TV it can happen just for the drama, but in real life, I mean, near-death experiences are a thing, but I think that's near-death, but then don't know if maybe you can still die, like you can flatline, but then there can still be somehow be enough. I mean, maybe that's when you bring in defibrillation and stuff, but maybe because she was still technically dead, maybe that was enough for the Slayer kind of lineage to still advance. Like maybe then, because then I still don't know how how the choosing happens. Like, do you just wake up one day with the powers, or do you actually because then the Watchers are there to guide the Slayer. So then, who, like, does Kendra have a Watcher? Like, or... But then she's with the Order of Taraka, so clearly she, like, I think she's a Slayer, but then clearly she's not, like, maybe she's not exclusively a Slayer, maybe she's using hers for, I mean, but then she's still alive. She's still alive too, so I don't know, like, she seems very experienced too. I think, not to say that Buffy isn't, but then she clearly seems to actually, you know, be a match for Buffy, and neither of them are, like, untrained or inexperienced. I think Buffy also has experience and training, you know, but Kendra, I guess, it's a question of, like, how much more she has. I mean, especially if she's a hunter as well, if she's a hunter as well as a Slayer, then maybe she has that much more kind of experience under her belt. Maybe she's capable of being that much more brutal. She doesn't look that much older than Buffy. If a new Slayer had already chosen, wouldn't Buffy had actually lost those powers instead? Because then she's still a Slayer. She still has the actual unique kind of traits and physicality of the Slayer. She hasn't lost her powers because of it, I don't think. Not that we've yet seen. So I don't know, now it's just a question of how two Slayers can actually coexist in one generation. Question kind of comes to mind, like, what came first, like the bounty hunting or the vampire slaying? So she's a vampire slayer by nature. Maybe she's not like a devoted vampire slayer. Maybe she's actually, maybe she chose a different path of life, so maybe she became a bounty hunter for the Order of Taraka. Which is curious, because then I'm pretty sure like vampire slayers by nature and by trade are meant to are meant to combat like all supernatural threats, so like working with other supernatural beings. I mean, I guess maybe now this season will kind of introduce us to how much of a grey area it might be, like the world of supernatural kind of beings and like politics, if there is any. Even the way the Giles kind of like describe the Order of Taraka too is like, you know, like they have no earthly desire, they're just in it for the goal, like it's just business. And like they are bounty hunters, like by trade and by nature they're pretty much mercenaries. So like especially if they're bounty hunters too, they get paid for it. So it's literally just kind of like being supernaturals for hire, pretty much. So wonder if she's the only one in the lineage like that, or if there have been other Slayers in the past who have actually kind of gone down more kind of unorthodox routes with their slaying kind of capabilities. So I don't know. It's a good question to ask. But he did mention that it traces all the way back to King Solomon's time too. So I don't know how far back in history that is, but it sounds quite old. So yeah, I think we had Josephus Dulac as well. That Giles kind of had some intel on him that he was excommunicated by the Vatican. So Vatican, I believe, is like the Catholic Church and everything. So if he's excommunicated by them, I'm going off on my awareness of excommunication is from probably not the best or most reliable source, like 100% source of information, but John Wick, from when John Wick was gone excommunicado from the Continental and the Assassins, kind of that kind of society and everything. He made the cross. He made crosses. He made multiple, but then he actually he had all of them except for the one he was buried with destroyed. So, you know, and then I think Giles kind of did have the theory that like he feared its power. So clearly, whatever was in the book was also capable of actually curing a vampire or supernatural creature. Like, because then, you know, Spike and Drusilla are looking through that book to find out what can cure her. So if it can actually help a vampire or another supernatural creature, then clearly that kind of information is dangerous, and it should never have been written down in the first place, and maybe that's why he was excommunicated. But then he himself knew the power of the crosses and the power of that information if it should ever be deciphered. So safest way to keep it out of the wrong hands would be to destroy all the crosses and then keep one buried with him and stuff, and hope that no one ever goes grave robbing and tries to actually steal his thing and everything. But then Dalton was in the mausoleum hammering away, so wonder if maybe the cross had kind of gotten rusty, or maybe if it had actually kind of been like you know, deformed or something over the years. Maybe he was actually hammering away to actually modify it or fix it or something. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure they haven't mentioned it yet, but I think they've clarified that she is sick with something, and Spike thought that bringing her to the Hellmouth, to what's left of the Hellmouth energy in Sunnydale would cure her, and maybe it's keeping her alive or making it better than before, but it's still not stabilizing her. Or maybe it's just not making her any better, even if it is stabilized her. So now the cure is in the book, and the last thing they looked at was a tarot card of an angel, at least what looked like an angel. I'm gonna go back and actually look at that too. Yeah, that looks like that looks like a falling angel, a falling/fallen angel, like with the wings it gives away. So if it's falling or fallen angel, then maybe it's like an angel that has to fall, like an angel that has to die or change or something, like, you know. a fallen angel would be like Lucifer was a fallen angel, but then he became a demon. Angel was originally a demon, but then he became, you know, like his soul was restored, so that made him good again, or at least it made him have a conscience again, and like now he has an actual moral code as a vampire. So the key obviously has to be something to do with him, but then don't know if it would be, you know, turning him into into a soulless vampire, like turning him into a demon again, or maybe just killing him, like actually make the angel fall, so kill Angel, and then that could cure Drusilla or something like that. So clearly Angel is the key somehow. So I think one thing I do kind of I did observe and maybe somewhat appreciate too, was that like it seemed like few people, at least few of the kind of, I guess you could call the adults, Angel clearly classified as an adult, like few of the actual adults were actually in the mood or anything for, like, you know, wasting time, or especially like for comedy or anything. Like even Giles actually getting kind of snappy at Xander for cracking his usual jokes and everything, but then apologizing immediately after, and even Angel kind of getting snappy at Buffy, like this isn't time for joking, the Order of Draco is serious business. I think now they are kind of establishing more and more like or at least like trying to establish more and more like how dangerous this world really is, and like all the other kind of threats that are out there. Like season 1 definitely seems like it was kind of tamer, slightly more tamer in tone and in threat. Like I think season 1, I think some of the threats in there can be seen as wacky or wild, or can be seen as really kind of freaky, like still scary, but then still freaky and kind of lighter. But now season 2, especially with Spike coming into the fold and him actually not being afraid to bring out the big guns, which is the Order of Taraka too, and even Dalton being like, are you sure that's not overkill? Like, this is the Order of Taraka we're talking about here, and they're not afraid to bring in more like darker tones and darker kind of, you know, situations for the characters to face. But then the adults are like the adults in the situation to be like, you know, like, I know humor is a coping mechanism for some of you guys, but now you need to actually get serious. You need to take your fear seriously. You need to take the gravity of the situation seriously, and actually understand what we're up against here, instead of just kind of doing your usual wisecracks and stuff. I mean, I doubt that's going to change their characters completely, but then actually still kind of taking the time to make them kind of readjust to the situation and understand what's at stake, I think is like a more realistic approach for them to take than just kind of allowing them to continuously kind of blaspheme the situation and pretend that nothing's really going wrong and that nothing is really happening. And I think, especially like in terms of Buffy kind of looking back and forward in time to like kind of, you know, cherishing what once was and like reminiscing over what once was while still being kind of afraid and uncertain about what's to come too. I think she definitely seems to be getting both of those kind of insights from either side, from Giles and Angel too. Like with Angel, her reassuring Angel that, you know, he's not like a bad thing in her life. He's not one of the reasons that her life is so freaky. And I think even that line that she's like, how did it go? Like I think you are definitely, I think, like the one good freaky thing in my really good in my really freaky life, or something like that. Like even like in her life filled with other freakiness, like he's the one freaky thing that she wants to keep, and that she actually doesn't mind being so freaky or anything like that. So, you know, just like a sweet kind of you know, gesture in that sense. But, you know, like her knowing that like you know, if she could keep one thing from all that kind of freaky stuff that's happened, then she would keep him. So she wants to go forward into the future, but she wants to do it with him. She wants to live normally. But then even if one freaky kind of supernatural thing has to stay in her life, she'd take him over all of it any day of the week. So even when her parents were kind of fighting and everything, she her escapism was ice skating and everything. Like I think that was her escapism. Like that was when she actually could go away and actually be safe in her own area, in her own space, in like that kind of environment. I think I'm gonna look up Dorothy Hamill, because I think I've heard the name, but I'm not sure exactly who she is. Okay, yeah, Dorothy Hamill. Okay, so she was like her idol and everything. Like she tried to get the hair. She had the posters, and she had like her whole room was like a shrine to Dorothy Hamill, because then she was who she looked up to. And I think maybe like even then, like I think you know, like Dorothy Hamill being like an Olympic figure skater too, like her actually, you know, like without even knowing how Dorothy Hamill started or being fully aware of it, like she knew that Dorothy Hamill made it that far, and you know, she presumably looked good, and she was very skilled at figure skating too. So she wanted to actually kind of escape into that world and be as free and as graceful. And even watch. I mean, I don't know if that was actually you might need a stunt double for that, but then I think because don't know how much practice you'd need to actually be able to go onto there without falling. I don't know how many takes that would have taken to get that, like, to actually get those shots perfectly. But either way, I think if that was Sarah Michelle Gellar, then yeah, it looked completely fine. She looked as graceful as I would expect, even being an inexperienced kind of ice skater. Broadly speaking, she craves a normal life, but then I think she also just kind of craves being free, and like, because like being a slayer is a very, very constricting, very restricting kind of lifestyle. Like she has to do things a certain way at a certain time. She's barely allowed any free time to actually discover what she actually wants to do. So I think she also just doesn't really know what she wants to do, because the one certainty in her life is like the most kind of caging kind of thing in her life and everything. So she's never really had time, even with there being like a careers fair too. Like she's never really kind of had the choice to actually think about what she wants to do. Like even pointing out the kind of double standard for Giles too. Like with Giles, like, you know, like with him being a watcher, he can easily be a librarian. Like no one's gonna think twice or look twice, or that's not like a completely incompatible kind of field. But then even Giles kind of having like him being like, you know, have you considered law enforcement? That's like a very, very out in the field type of job. You know, you have authority, you could, you know, go anywhere you want to. I mean, I think she'd make a great detective. I don't know if she plays a detective in Wolfpack in that Teen Wolf spin-off, but Buffy as a detective, I feel like that would work perfectly. I mean, I feel like you definitely still probably need to work your way up from police officer to whatever to be a detective. I think even detectives, or like being like a private eye, maybe being a private eye, especially being in a supernatural universe and being a private eye feels like a fairly lucrative kind of thing, because again, there'd be so many, you know, missing persons cases or deaths that would be unexplained and stuff, you know. So I feel like being a detective or being like a private eye would be a fairly lucrative kind of career for a slayer in a supernatural universe. Like you just could solve so many cases, and then there'd be so many kind of unsolved mysteries. That would be a compatible career path. So detective, you know, or private eye. So I don't know, but she still is struggling like with any possibility, and also having to keep the slayer side of her in check and making sure that doesn't actually interfere, which a lot of the times it does and everything. So, you know, even going out ice skating, she wasn't safe because then she still got attacked and everything. So yeah, it's you know, it's an interesting kind of angle with Buffy that they're actually approaching with this season. So we saw that Willow and Oz actually met each other for the first time, and again, we didn't see what happened. I think those two government agents were like sent by like some CEO of like a computer company or a tech company, or like a software company or something. So I mean, that made sense for Willow. She has been shown to be the computer whiz and the kind of like tech whiz, I don't know, but like computer whiz definitely. So I guess tech whiz could be kind of interchangeable there. But yeah, she's been shown to be good on computers. So, you know, but then it did kind of concern me that like instead of actually being listed like officially along with every other student, I think that company did kind of seek her out personally, and even we've been keeping tabs on you for a while now. Like that seemed kind of shady, I guess. I think it just seemed like their acquisition of her would be that much more kind of unofficial, or something more kind of, I don't know, like it just seemed off. But then the only other Sunnydale student that they had actually that had actually kind of come up on the radar was of course Oz. So this was Oz and Willow's first time meeting. So yeah, but we didn't even get to see or even hear like no reference of it, like Buffy no Willow telling Buffy or anyone about what happened. I mean, I guess maybe there wasn't time in the middle of all the Order of Taraka stuff, but hopefully next episode we'll be able to actually get her, you know, either seeing Oz again, or even her actually telling Buffy about what went on and stuff. So I think we already know Oz is interested in Willow, so you know, maybe this could be the start of something kind of wholesome, and hopefully wholesome and cute for them too, especially like her moving on from Xander as well. I think you know, not that she needs to move on to another guy, but then her just moving on and maybe actually finding someone new, like a friend, or like a, you know, whatever they become, you know, whatever becomes of them in the show, you know. Hopefully this is the start of something kind of cool. So but yeah, I think for now that is pretty much all I've got from this episode. So again, it was a busy one. It was a part one, so definitely left a lot to be, talked about and answered and everything. So gonna be curious. Then we have to have Angel kind of escaping from that cage that Kendra locked him into. I think even by the last time we saw him, it was already kind of early morning at least. Like it was already daytime by that point. So I think when Buffy asked him how he knew about the career fair thing, he did say he likes thing. I wonder like if he covers himself up well enough, or if he actually uses kind of like more shadowy or darker kind of pathways, can he still go out in the daytime? Because I think when we first met him, I think he did visit Buffy where the master was. I think he was inside that kind of, was that still a mausoleum? I can't remember. But then that place had like a roof over it and like 4 walls and stuff. So, but then that was still during the day. So I wonder if maybe if he uses tunnels or like alleyways or something, like if he uses darker pathways, then maybe he can actually still risk it during the day. So maybe that's how he did it at the school. Like he just lurked and found out and stuff. So if he comes into contact with like a ray of sunlight, then maybe that hurts. But then if he actually stays away from windows and stays away from where there's obvious sunlight, then maybe that could, be useful. And then maybe he just kind of waits until nightfall or something. But yeah, that is definitely it. So yeah, that was Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 2, Episode 9. So thank you guys, as always, so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then feel free to leave a like and comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think of all the stuff that went down, what you think of Kendra the Vampire Slayer and everything. And what you and what your thoughts and theories are for the coming episode and everything. And for those interested, the full-length reaction is available over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So until the next time, bye bye for now.